Well, what do you feel about some of the criticism? This may be blackout, but what do you feel about some of the criticism that he's getting about speaking out against Sean with the documentary? I know Flex went crazy on him, but Flex, you got to stop, bro.
Yeah.
Do you think he's like taking advantage of the situation and trying to separate himself from?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely think he's doing that, but you also look at it from a standpoint of it's hard to speak from somebody that did 10 years in jail. So he did 10 years in jail. So I think kind of reserve the right to criticize somebody like that, because at the end of the day, he didn't cooperate, he didn't take the stand, he didn't tell, and he could have. And most dudes nowadays, they would take the stand before they even
and counting, ain't it, right?
Parking ticket, they get on the stand, and they doing it for free on YouTube. Yeah. So this is somebody that at 20 years old, faced his charges by himself, didn't cooperate, did his time for 10 years, then got deported for 10 years. So 20 years, he was exiled for 20 years. If you look at it from that standpoint.
While on fire too. Oh my.
And reinvented himself and came back and never cried about the situation publicly, reinvented himself and came back to America as a diplomat. So left as a prisoner and came back on diplomatic immunity. He's a hustler.
Yeah,
like what I'm saying, he's a real hustler. And he figured it out, and now he's trying to become prime minister of a country. So I have a tremendous amount of respect for Sean.
Yeah.
As far as him throwing Puff under the bus now because Puff's legal situation, I mean, some people might look at it like that, but like I said, I mean, that's their relationship. I can't really speak on it because it's like, only them two know their relationship.
Yeah. And I don't think he's been going crazy. I think he's told a story, but correct me if I'm wrong. I haven't heard him really talk about him. He gave me opportunity. Of course, he didn't agree with some of the court stuff, but I didn't hear him derail the way some have.
It's tough for him to tell a story without Puff being part of it, right? Like he plays a major part in his life, from making him a millionaire to being in jail to now coming back. I think the reconciliation part is people are like kind of questioning like why he would do that, but I mean he kind of explained it, right? Even in his interviews that he's done, like it was a different part of my life. It was a different part of me. I've grown. At one point, I thought this man owed me something, till I got to the point of growth where I'm like, he doesn't owe me anything. In fact, I'm praying for him because he needs peace in his life. So I can't tell him or even feel a way when he speaks about somebody that has negatively affected his life in such a way. For as much positive that it might have been early on. I mean, you sit in jail for 8.5 years. You don't see your family. In fact, when you're fighting this case, you're fighting it by yourself. And even the lawyers are part of the documentary as well. It's tough, man. So, and that's why it's named the Honorable, right? It's a double entendre. Obviously as an elected official, but being honorable on what he believed in his moral compass. Shout out to Paul.
And what do people expect, like to see him once he's released and then fight him and go back to jail?
Well, I will say
we've all been. Go ahead.
From a business standpoint, because tied it back into Market Mondays, there's a rate of return on just being a stand-up person, and it's like his reputation has carried throughout 2 decades, which actually puts him in position to not only do a documentary, but to actually potentially be a world leader and the prime minister of a country. And if he would have taken the TAKASHI 6, because a lot of people are like, well, I'm not sitting a day in jail. I'm just going to rat, and I'm just going. That's become a very popular narrative online. And it's like, it's like Little Dirk's father said, like, if you are living a lifestyle, right, you sign up for something. That's not something that you should champion to say, okay, well, fuck it, Ian, you got to go because I'm not going to jail. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, if we comrades in arms, that means something, right? So it's like that's something for people to understand, because it's like TAKASHI 6ix9ine has no future, right? His future is always going to be just a clown. But Sean, he took a tough road, but he didn't tell on anybody. He didn't throw anybody under the bus. He didn't do any crazy antics. And 20 years later, he's still a respected person because of that. And now his life trajectory is probably going to be better than somebody that just, took the cheese and just, they saved themselves in that moment.
Yeah.
But what is their life? They have no life. right?
And
Like
we got to
20
talk
years
about how
later,
resilient he is. Yeah, to be able to come back and then go into a different lane and use the star power that he have to translate it to something else.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's a story. It's a story of healing. Even the relationship of his father and the role that he didn't play and now plays. His father was the prime minister of Belize.
Yep.
And so there's a story behind that as well. So I mean, it's dope, man. His mom, his whole family was there watching the film. Everybody should go support it, man.
Did Sean sign away his intellectual property or no?
I think he owned his masters when he
he owned. Thank you.
When he first, when all this happened, he owned the publishing at the beginning, I believe.
Beginning.
So that was something that was kind of unprecedented, especially for the Bad Boy artist. He was like the only one that actually had that. I think that might have been, something that Puff did for him. To be like, kind of like, whatever. But
Don Poop probably did that.
And then he signed another $1 million deal when he was in jail with Def Jam. So
yeah,
Sean was one of these people that was kind of making, at least it looked like he was making, business moves that made sense. Yeah. And he always was militant. Like you never seen Sean with a chain on, just by himself going to court with a fitted hat on. He wasn't doing like, it was a different era. Like these dudes nowadays, like I said, all this silly stuff is not like, it's just antics and semantics. And then that's why when they get put under pressure, then they just fold because that's not who they are. They're just a good person, which is fine. Mm-hmm. Just be that good person, but don't try to portray a life that you're not, because why would you do that? It's only going to lead to death or destruction. And I feel like, people still haven't learned their lesson. They use it as a marketing campaign until they realize that federal prison is real.
Feel the fury when you're on that bus.
Yeah. Sean's first album was tough too.
And 6ix9ine ratted twice. So it's like you can't rat again. Like ain't nobody to rat on no more, my boy. Like
he just caught up in some in Miami.
That's what I'm saying. But what I'm saying now you're gonna have you can't rat no more. Right?
He got a new little crew he running with. That's going. I told you that boy was in Miami, drugging girls and shit. I'm like, what is you?
Oh yeah, get out of jail free cards has expired already.
That's tough. Little boy got ran out of Puerto Rico.
Yeah.
Bro, you moving too reckless. But
no country for old men.
Yeah.